minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up, rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You are now. Hold on. 1 second. You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy MJ. What is good? How are you? Is this your first time tapping in? Do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Smash that notification bell. And then you're going to want to hit that like button to keep us relevant and keep YouTube happy. If you hit that like button, it helps not only myself, but it helps the guests get their information out there, helps other reach this information. So much happens when you hit that like button. So biggest reason why you want to subscribe, hit that notification bell is because I come out with 4 podcasts every week here on the Snake Trap Sessions channel, and I drop a vlog every Saturday. So you don't know what I'm going to bring to the channel. Bottom line, you don't want to miss it. Don't get slept on. Hit that notification bell and stay alert and stay on top of things, man. But what is good to all my trappers out there, early birds up and cracking up in the building. I'm gonna get to you guys in just a second. Forgive me. I'm feeling a little ill. I'm pumped up for tonight. Don't get me wrong, but I was pretty sure I came back from COVID again with Texas. My wife has one of those home kits, negative. I just feel, whatever. So don't mind my voice. I'm still here. Energy's on point. And we're going to get this shit cracking. Before we get into the early birds and before we get things here going, you guys know what the deal is for the freshest and bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep. The #1 rodent company for that is going to be coldbloodedcafe.com. Stephen, Kush, Desiree Minot leading the industry when it comes to frozen thawed rodents. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. Please go check them out. They have the best prices, highest quality in rodents. I'm telling you right now, they never miss. Cold Blooded Cafe, check them out. $30 flat rate shipping. Shout out to the Cold Blooded Cafe family. Shout out to Sim Container, John and Alex, doing big things over at Sim Containers with the monitor programs. I'm telling you right now, man, if you have eggs, put them inside of a Sim box, your concerns are out the window. You don't have to worry about Substrate. You can use straight water. Now, I will say, I do recommend using Substrate if you're clumsy like me, because you don't want to, have to fucking knock into anything with just water underneath your eggs. So I will recommend I use Substrate, but you don't need to use Substrate, man. They make it easy. So shout out to John, shout out to Alex, shout out to Steven and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats. Cannot wait to get these enclosures that they're building. And it's exciting. You guys go check them out. PVC built enclosures, Flex in Texas all day, every day. The future's bright with Focus Cube Habitats, and the future's here, baby. I'm looking at a few of my Focus Cube Habitats now, and in the next couple weeks or so, I'm going to have 12 brand new focus cube enclosures. Cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen Ashley, for supporting the trap. Means a lot. Shout out to Jesse in the stainless steel, #1 stainless steel rack in a company in the United States. That's Freedom Breeder. You got to admit, man, if you got a Freedom Breeder rack, that is the next level of snake breeding and rat breeding. It does not get more professional than a Freedom Breeder. The way they design those racks, it's next level. You got the damn metal, tray that comes out. It's like a table that's just amazing for you to put your snake on and do work. Cannot complain when it comes to Freedom Breeder racks. And they don't lose value, and they're just really on point. Cannot complain, like I said, about Freedom Breeders. Thank you so much, Jesse, the entire Freedom Breeder crew. Thank you so much, Miguel Garcia, always evolving pythons, one of the biggest ball python breeders in the game when it comes to leading by fucking just like motivation. I feel like, I don't know, Miguel is just a really happy person to follow. I mean, if you don't get excited following Miguel's work, then you must be just, like envious of him or something, which is also a real thing. I mean, the guy does amazing stuff, but if you're on the other end of the things like I am, and I'm motivated off his work, then go follow his stuff. I'm telling you right now, this guy's working with amazing ball pythons, and to say someone who's doing differently with his ball pythons, like going a different route, is really hard to say in this day and age, and this guy is one of them. Miguel is creating his own path with these ball pythons. And if you want to see what exactly I'm talking about, go check him out on Instagram. Go check out all his productions that he has on Morph Market. I don't know what he has on Morph Market. He's like me. Our productions don't last. Once they're for sale, they're gone. Holler at my boy, man. He taught me that. That's my boy right there. Shout out to the whole AEP family. You guys are amazing. Mad support. You guys got my support to the end, and you guys are awesome. And then my boy, Alan. Shout out to my homie, Alan. Amazing Basins. Want to talk about, a shoe-in? You want to talk about somebody breeding something that nobody else is really breeding and being successful at? That's this man right here working with basins. This guy has bred basins and is passionate about working with basins. He has amazing stuff going this year with his basins on top of working with ball pythons. He has a good history with ball pythons and is back into the ball python game and has his hands in some amazing projects. Go check him out on Instagram. He's slowly letting people see what he's working with his ball pythons on Instagram. So go check it out. More importantly, if you're really passionate and all about trying to become a basin keeper someday, or if you already keep basins, you want more and you want to get them from somebody reputable, somebody legit, then Alan is your man. Go check him out. He has a Patreon page. You could get on his waiting list. The best way to get on this guy's waiting list or get on his radar to become maybe a potential customer is on his Patreon page. Highly recommend you go check it out. And Alan, thank you so much for your support. Big Dog means everything. Shout out to Blake Stewart, Stewart Designs. If you really want to, dude, it's all about the brand. I'll tell you that right now, man. People are taking their brand to the next level, and they're going through this guy right here. This man, Blake Stewart from Stewart Design, is changing the entire reptile industry as a whole. He's breaking the mold and taking these brands and to a whole nother level. I'm telling you right now, go see what it's all about. Shout out to my man, Blake Stewart. Thank you so much for sponsoring the trap. Cannot wait to work with you in the near future. And yeah, man, Stewart Design. I'm telling you right now, big things coming for sure. Shout out to Rami. Shout out to the Reptile Super Show. Amazing shows to attend on the West Coast. And then all around, if you're more on the Midwest and the East Coast, NARBC is going to be your cup of tea for sure. Shout out to Brian Potter and Bob Ashley, who just threw an amazing show at Arlington, Texas. What a great time. I think my voice is just gone from just yelling and shit. Like, I don't know. I had a great time. Really great time. And if you were at Texas and we linked up and you happen to take shots in the men's urinal with the other crew, then sick. What an amazing time. I hope we do it again soon. But thank you so much to both shows that sponsor the trap. You guys, no two big show. No, there's no other reptile shows bigger than these two shows right here, in my opinion. And if you can ever get a chance to go to any one of them, it's going to change your life when it comes to being in this hobby, because you connect. This is where you get connections. This is where you meet people. I'm telling you right now, it took me over a year to get this girl on the show. I'm pretty sure I asked her in person once and she fucking shrugged me off. Like, we're going to talk about it. She wanted nothing to do with me at all. She was sitting next to Dave Levison, and I took it. I took the hit and I was like, fuck, dude, that was not good. And then rebounced back. I hit her up and she was a lot more nice. I hit her up via DM. She was a lot more nice about it. Was like, hey, I'm just busy. And then I met her again, and I don't know what it was. We'll talk about it here soon, but I'm telling you, it took me two times in person, and you got to go to shows. If you really want to make connections with people, you got to go to shows, and you got to just hopefully find the right timing. And yeah, we're going to talk about that soon. Just hang tight. US Arc, please, guys, amazing. I want to give props to my man Jeremy from Brassman Reptiles. He just did a live right now bringing US Ark and Phil Goss and Brian Barczyk together after I don't know how many years, man, but the unity right here is amazing. You understand this is huge for US Ark and Brian Barczyk to come together. This shows you right here that no one's going to fuck around with us. No one's going to take our animals away from us. We are here to fight together. And I thank you so much, Jeremy, for doing that. Over 400 people in the live. It was amazing. All good stuff, all positivity. And I got to say, man, Jeremy is one of the front men's fighting for this US Ark thing against this whitelist. And we need more people like Jeremy in this shit. I appreciate you, Jeremy. Good stuff, man. Keep it up. And again, guys, if you don't know much about US Ark, I encourage you just to go down to the link below, click on the link, read up on it, okay? No one's forcing you to donate anything. I'm just saying it will make you feel better if you do, because there's nobody out there going to the front line fighting for our animal rights other than Phil Goss. Phil Goss is fucking David and Goliath, as Brian Barczyk said it on the live. And we got to back him up, man. Fuck Goliath. We're going to take that fool out. You feel me? But thank you so much, Phil Goss. Thank you, everyone who supports US Ark as a whole. We're all in this together, man. Thank you so much. If you don't support US Ark, I don't even want to say anything about it. If you don't support US Ark, you need to fucking get help. That's all I got to say. If you guys want to fuck with me on a personal level, go check me out on Instagram, mjexoticscartal. I do have a lot of things going on this year, all great things, and other than ball python, so it's exciting. I love my ball pythons, don't get me wrong, but I have some cool stuff going on. So check me out on Instagram, mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E. Check out the podcast's Instagram as well. That's going to be Trap Talk with MJ podcast. And then shout out to my Twitch viewers. If you guys would like to support this channel more than a subscription or a like, I take any donations to PayPal, Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E, and I send any donations from this channel to US Ark. That goes with any super chats. If you have a question for our guest Meghan and you really want to get it across, and I'm ignoring you for some reason, if you drop a super chat, I guarantee I ask that question if it's polite. But yes, guys, every super chat gets donated to US Ark. That's what I've been doing since day one. So please drop a super chat for this episode if you have any questions. And then last but not least, shout out to my Patreon members, man. Patreon members going up. We're over at 91 Patreon members. Trap family members is growing, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to cap it at 100. So get in there while you can, because like I said, this family is tight-knit. We don't fuck around. We don't like no Bob Smiths. We don't like no weirdos. And if you are a weirdo, you get boop. Okay, I haven't done that a lot, but I will. But guys, shout out my fucking support, my Patreon members. You guys mean so much to me. You guys have no idea. I love all my support, all my viewers, but my Patreon members. We get together every Sunday. We have a Discord. We are really, really tight knit. I'm telling you right now. We go back and forth. Bottom line, if you want to get more out of keeping reptiles, if you want to learn more, if you want to build connections, if you want to build relationships, you're gonna want to go down to the link below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family right now, and you can fucking thank me later, because as soon as you join the Trap Talk Patreon family member, you get access to the Discord, and then you get to fuck with all these keepers that are working with so much different stuff. I got heavy hitters up in the Discord. I'm not even going to name drop at this point. It's up to you to go find out. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. All my Patreon family members, I love you guys. I'll see you guys this coming Sunday, because we get together every Sunday on Trap Talk Zoom session. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Early birds, what is good? Who is here? I know there's a lot of people excited for tonight. I'm telling you, I'm excited, and I'm high as balls, just like this guy. Anaconda, what's good, buddy? Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk Patreon family member all day. Dom 702 Serpents, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. HB Reptiles, Trap Talk family member all day. 1776 Exotic Big Mike, Trap Talk family member all day. Deviant Glass, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Pacific Rims, Chantel, what's up, homegirl? Trap Talk family member all day. Mason Johnson, are you a Trap Talk Patreon member? Because if not, you just fucked up the flow, man. Damn, I'm just kidding. What's good, Mason? Thanks for tapping in. The homie Sean, Trap Talk family member all day. Sound Serpents up in the Pacific Northwest. The homie Matthew, Evolution Exotics up in the building. Trap Talk family member all day. Hannah Banana from Texas, Trap Talk family member all day. Triple G, what is good, homie? In the building. Trap Talk family member all day. Julio, new Trap Talk Patreon family member, just joined. What is good, player? Thanks for joining the family. You're a real one. We're going to have a good show, and I am so pumped up. I feel like my illness is going away. Wise Guys, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Heathen, new Trap Talk. Dude, Heathen, what a sick name. New Trap Talk Patreon family member all day. Tyler King, OG Trap Talk Patreon family member all day. 905 Royals, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. Eric's Morse Factory, what is good? A couple more, okay, guys. Brewer, Boys, Balls, Pythons, what is good? Matthew Summers, what a guy. This is my travel agent, travel manager, whatever the fuck. He takes care of me and babysits me, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for keeping me out of trouble, Matt. And last but not least, Jason Holbrook, Barber J. If you're ever in Indy, get lined up by my boy Jay, and you can thank me later. He has the best trees in Indy from what I could tell. Just don't go eat food with him unless it's at his house. All right, enough is enough. Guys, let's get this show on the road. Okay, I'm keeping my guest hanging longer than I want to because I'm sure she's already over it. And we have a lot to talk about. But guess what? I'm pretty sure her connection's solid because she's not in Midwest or Massachusetts as I once thought she was. She's actually tapping in from California. California people, for the most part, have good Wi-Fi, good internet service. So we're going to have a great show. And here she is standing tight, Meghan Kelley from Megaconda. What is good, Meghan?
Nothing.
Can you hear me okay? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you're very energetic, apparently.
How was I? Wasn't I like this in person?
Yeah, you were funnier in person, though.
Okay. I was more fucked up, though, too, to be honest, so.
True.
So, Meghan, real quick, I am saying I'm excited to have you on. With all due respect, this was well overdue, I feel like, but it's happening. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
How's everything going on your end? You are from Cali, believe it or not. So, guys, she is from California, okay? And I'm sorry, but I just had I never put the connections together. I mean, I have people even saying, like, just from my story, I said she's, I had no clue that this was Jeff Kelley's sister, younger sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So really, I didn't put the connections, but what's funny is, Meghan, because your brother did go to shows and he was vending shows, and now that I really think about it, I do remember seeing you behind his table kicking it a lot of the times with his wife and your entourage. There's an entourage of you guys for the most part, right?
Kind of. I mean, he kind of had his own thing. I would usually set up with my friends and help my friends out more than my brother, just because, there were some things there. But yeah.
Right. Okay. So I got to ask you, brother and sister both having a reptile thing. I mean, how far back does this go? I mean, was this always like a thing with you guys with animals? I mean, did it just kind of grow into it? Like, let's kind of talk about how this started.
We always kind of had reptiles. I mean, we got our first ball pythons when we were like 5 and 6 years old. So we always kind of had them. We just grew up getting bigger and more. So, and then by like our teen years, we had Burm's retics, and then I had an Anaconda by the time I was 15. So.
Damn. Now, I mean, let me ask you this. Your parents never really tripped about having big snakes? Or, I mean, was that kind of like you had to prove to them that you could keep them? Like, how was that?
We kind of just got them as they were babies and didn't really tell them and just kind of kept going with it. But we kind of proved that we could like take care of it and like do everything. So
you got him. So you were about 15 years old. So your brother's how much older? He's older than you by how many years?
He's a year and a half older.
Okay. And he was about 16, 17, and you were 15 when you guys got your first big snake, right?
Kind of. He may have been a little younger. I got my first Anaconda when I was 15. We already had Burms and retics.
Now, let's just focus on the Anaconda part because that's just kind of unique, I mean, how did you were you always fascinated with Anacondas? Was that always something you wanted to sought after, or did this kind of land in your lap? Like, how did the Anaconda thing work out?
I kind of wanted one just because of like the whole stereotype and everything. And like my Anaconda was like the one thing our parents said, don't ever get. So,
God, of course.
I was like, I'm going to get one. So I found one on Craigslist, and I still have her to this day. She's now my biggest one.
What's her name?
Puppy.
Puppy. Wow. Okay.
So I got her on Craigslist. I couldn't drive at the time, so I told my brother to go get it, and I gave him the cash. And I hid it for like 6 to 8 months, and then one day my parents just walked in on me holding it, and I was like, okay, well, I have this now. And they weren't too happy. And
How big was it? How big was it?
3-4 feet. Not huge, but not a baby.
So, and then what was the temperament like? I mean, did you kind of take your licks, or was it pretty docile when you got it?
She bit my brother the first night, but after that, she was pretty cool. So I just held her like every day, and like she just was like used to it, and then now she's like the calmest thing ever.
And she always ate for you really good right off the bat. Like she never had, yeah. Because you do hear sometimes I think it's like with any snake, but obviously anacondas have gotten popular throughout the last couple of years, and people are inquiring them and whatnot. And from what I've heard, I've had a couple people run into some walls with getting anacondas to eat, like getting them off chicks and stuff like that. And so I mean, to hear that you kind of got one that was fucking dialed in and ready to rock, it's good experience for you, you know?
Yeah, some of them will start off eating anything. I've had other ones start on chicks, quail, tilapia. I even had one just start on rabbit pinkies because it wouldn't eat anything else. So
you had one start off fish?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If they're really picky eaters, they'll start on fish and then they'll switch to like chicks and then you can switch them to rats.
So, okay, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I am curious, Megan, like, you know, as far as you looking at an anaconda baby and offering it meals, at what point do you say, I'm going to go to a fish? Like, is this like the last resort for you? Or do you have a sense like, I think I'm going to offer this one a fish because I feel like it's going to want it?
I offer everything rat pups first, and then I switch to chicks. And if they don't take those, I switch to fish.
Right.
So it's kind of like I want them to eat rats. Like that's what almost everyone wants. So I try and start them on that. And if they don't, I switch to chicks. And if they don't take that, it's fish. You like tilapia will usually get them right away. And then you just kind of use that to like scent a chick or a rat and like switch them over. And usually after that they'll kind of just take rats.
We're going to get into the whole establishing of anaconda babies. I'm getting ahead of ourselves. I apologize. So let's go back to you. Obviously getting the anaconda, your mom finds out that you have it and it's like, all right, you have it at that point. What were you keeping it in? Like, what was it in? Was it in a tank? Like, what, you know, obviously there were so many different things back then that, you know, people use. So what did you use back then to keep it in?
I mean, we had racks and stuff. Then it was a CB7 had at the time. So
damn, you guys had racks back then?
Yeah. I mean, I'm only 27, so it wasn't that long ago.
But still, I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, I don't know. Let's see, 27. So, I mean, it's about 10 years ago, just shy. But let's see, just 10 years ago. You're right. God damn, I'm getting weight because just 10 years ago is barely 2012. So I don't know why I feel like I'm so old. But anyways, okay, cool. But still, like, it's even, I think the reason why I'm like, holy shit, you had racks. You got to admit, back then, having racks is still having a huge investment. Because racks were never cheap. Like, it's not like racks were ever cheap, right? Like, you always paid good money for racks, like, right, for the most part.
I mean, I built all mine with my dad, so.
Well, and then there's that route too. I mean, that's, you got to say, the do it yourself way. Like, I mean, we could definitely touch on that because people who have that craft of building their own enclosures, dude, you are so ahead of this game if you could build your own enclosures.
I built these. Those are Boa Masters. I'm actually going to replace them with things I make. But for now, I built these ones, the racks that kind of surround everywhere else in my room. I built, and then we also built the snake room.
I actually got hit up because, like I said, people were really excited when they found out I was bringing on the show, and a couple people were telling me how much they love your actual wooden racks, like the way these are, because they're very unique. You don't see them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously it's custom because you built that one, right?
Yeah. I mean, I built everything in here kind of to like fit the room because it's not like a massive room.
Right.
But
you got to make it work.
Like, yeah. I made everything fit to the room. So it's not like you're not like playing Tetris. You're building to how your like room is built.
Right. So, I mean, next to you, right, you have the custom ones to your left, to your right. You've had those for quite a while.
Yeah. So I bought these used and I've had them forever. I think they're really old Boa Masters and I'm replacing them because they're very hard to keep sealed. So like I have to keep like sealing them like off the cracks and everything. So it gets annoying. So I'm just gonna build my own.
How big are they?
They're 8x3s.
8x3s?
Yeah.
And those are the biggest enclosures you have, right? The 8x3s?
Yeah, the ones I built are 8 and like 3.5. They're a little bit bigger.
Okay. All right. Now I want to ask you, at what point did, like, let me ask you, so Anacondas obviously was the biggest snake you keep, but when you were raising up this anaconda when you were younger, did you keep anything else bigger at that time, or what were you guys keeping around that time?
I mean, I had berms and retics still. I mean, they were bigger. So I was always kind of around them. I had lizards too. I had a water. I still have it. I have a water monitor.
Right.
That I had for 12 years, just as long. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So and so let me ask you this: what came first as far as like passion, the monitors or the snakes? Like, what was what was it for you?
Well, growing up, we were always like catching lizards and stuff. Like
Right.
we'd go to Arizona and just catch anything we could.
Right.
even around here, you'd catch like alligator lizards and stuff. So we're always catching things. And lizards, we always had little lizards, but the monitors we just kind of started getting into when we were in our like teens and just kind of stuck. The snakes, we have always had some kind of snake. So.
And what part of LA did you grow up in? I know you're up in LA, like you're up north a little bit, but where are you at? Like I forget.
I'm like right next to LAX.
Oh, and that's where you grew up?
Yeah.
Damn, crazy. I mean, what was it like in high school? I mean, there's not too many people probably keeping herps like how you were in high school, I'm assuming, right?
No. I don't know. I kept it kind of secret from people just because it is a weird hobby when you're like a teenager, I guess. I didn't talk about it too much. What happened one time was, though, is I don't know if you know that meme of me and Twinkie that was at Prehistoric where it says, "Snake, where you going?" I'll pull it up.
Pull it up. So this is a popular meme, I'm assuming?
When you see it, you'll recognize it. That kind of went around pretty good. And then
I put you on, basically.
No, not really, because no one really knew who I was, but people at school recognized me. So that.
Oh yeah.
That's me. I'm like 17 in that picture.
Holy shit. So what is that? That was like 8 years ago?
That's 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Damn. Now, I mean, how close were you to Prehistoric? I mean, did you kind of hang out there a lot, or like what's your connection to Prehistoric? I'm curious.
Yeah. I used to hang out there quite a bit. I am still really good friends with like Jay's daughters. He's got 3 of them. The 2 ones I'm pretty close with, I guess.
Right.
So I used to hang out there a lot. I don't anymore just because I'm busy and doing my own thing. So
it's been it's been a long time since you've been over there?
No, I was there recently. I go there once in a while just to say hi. But I used to hang out there a lot more.
I mean, did you learn a lot of stuff there? Or is that like where you kind of, I mean, do you have a lot of your keeping experience to give credit to Prehistoric, or like or is that just like a place that you just were able to hang out at?
I mean, they're relatively close by, and like that's where I met Garrett and everything, like and all that. It's just I don't know. It was like one of the closest big reptile places, I guess, by me. So it was just kind of easy to go down there and hang out. Like I said, I became friends with them, so it was just fun.
It's great. It's great. Like it's fortunate but unfortunate, and we don't have to get into this. I'll briefly talk about this, but it seems like so many great people and so many great things stems from Prehistoric. Like Garrett worked there for years, and I hear how other people started there and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But from my experience going there, it made me not want to keep big snakes. It made me, from what I experienced and from what I saw there, I never wanted to be in that position ever, and it made me not want to keep snakes. And it was really sad. It was really sad. But,
yeah, I mean, anything. It's a big place. Like it's cool to see.
But for us, right? Like we pay attention to things. Like for the average general public, it's you walk in and it is like, ooh, wow, you know what I mean? But for you to let me into a breeding facility where I have animals and I breed and I take this shit serious. Like I take this real. If I hear wheezing, I lose sleep. You don't understand? Like I didn't like hearing my snakes, my big snakes, right? Like they would do funny wheezing noises when I would drop my temps for my other snakes to breed, and that would make me freak out. Right.
Yeah.
And then, for me to take something so to heart and serious, and then I see someone else who I put on a pedestal, basically. And I did, like, just like Barchek, I put these fuckers on a pedestal. Not I call Barchek a fucker. That's my boy. I'm just saying, I put him on a pedestal, and, I can't forget these eyes won't forget what I saw. And I don't care who's friends with who. I don't care who's been doing what for long. I don't forget shit that I see. And I will hold people to that. Because, to kind of wrap up on this topic here, I'm saying, a lot of people warned me about Barchek on what kind of person this guy was, how I should be aware. He has really bad, terrible keeping practices. His place is this, his place is that. So I took all this stuff into consideration, went to his place, prepared. I was prepared. Same place, same way I was prepared to go to Prehistoric. I was prepared, and I was ready. I was ready to look at shit. And Barchek's by far one of the nicest, most spectacular fucking reptile zoos I've ever seen. Like spectacular. And that made me realize that they're not all the same. Not all big reptile places are the same. Some places take things serious. Like I'm sure, Megan, like I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to your place because you won't let me. But I'm just kidding. No, but I could just tell, like, I could see how healthy your animals are through your videos. And I could see that you're one to take your animals out a lot, like just because you're active and you show it. But I don't know, Megan. I mean, let me ask you. I mean, if you kept, like, let's just say you came over to my house and I kept similar stuff that you kept and it just was not kept right, would you say something to me, or would you just say, all right, see you later? Like, what would you do? Like, honestly, I'm just curious. And if you were friends, you know what I mean?
I think I'd kind of ask like why you kept something that way. I wouldn't just be like, that's wrong. I just kind of want your opinion on it and from your perspective and see if it's like different than mine or just something like that. So I wouldn't just straight up be like, no, that's wrong. Don't do that. Because there's always different ways to keep stuff. Everyone's got their own way. As long as this animal is healthy and happy, like that's kind of all that matters. Right. So.
I mean, that's first and foremost is a healthy, happy animal, right? And like I said, I've seen animals kept in enclosures where they should be bigger, but they were happy and healthy because they were maintenance. They were taken care of. They were let out. You know what I mean? But if you put, especially a retic, I know Burms could be lazy, but a retic, a fucking male retic, you don't give that guy attention for a while, and there's going to be shoving, there's going to be bumping, there's going to be stuff like that. That enclosure is going to be a fucking wreck. This is what it is. That's why I couldn't even enjoy leaving my collection for more than 4 days without concern, because whoever was watching my collection, I told them, don't touch the retics, like leave them alone. I'm not confident or happy like having you even fuck with them or do a water change when I'm gone. Like I will literally let those guys go 7 days until I was gone. And what do you think I was coming back to? A cesspool, like them sitting in their own shit. And it was like, I'm just mad at myself. I'm like, dude, this is terrible. You know what I mean? And, you know, I just had to make a decision. You know, I don't have a place like the Reptarium. I don't have a place where I could have, you know, 8 by 10 by 20 enclosure. Like I just don't have that. So I just don't feel it. I felt personally it wasn't right for me to keep 12 mainlands if it was making me feel some type of way. And that's all it was. It just wasn't making me feel good. And, you know, like I commend people like you. My boy Dylan, part of my Patreon page, he keeps big snakes and they're so beautiful. They're so well taken care of. And you got to understand, I mean, not that you don't understand, Megan, but big snakes are not for everyone. You have to have something. You have to have something special in you to have big snakes. And Megan, dude, I'm not saying, oh, you're a chick, but dude, you're a chick working with these big snakes. And I was too much. It was fucking, I'm telling you, props to you. Like, I mean, be honest. How many close calls have you had? Like, let's talk about your close calls. Like, close calls.
Like close calls to what? Like getting bit or like
getting wrapped? Yeah, wrapped situation or anything where you're by yourself and it was like, oh my god, that was like, I mean, because I always have my oh shit moments that I'll never forget. Do you have any like oh shit moments that stand out to you?
Not really. There was one kind of, but it wasn't like, it was more of a defensive thing just because it's not a very nice snake. But again, I didn't also raise that one. It's the double het female from Ben. She is a nightmare and she's 11 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She will.
Anaconda, right?
Yeah, Anaconda.
Oh my god.
She will, like, if she's in this mood, which isn't often, but she's capable of it, she'll like go underneath like the bedding and the paper and stuff in her cage and come up and try and like surprise you. And there was one day I was trying to pull her out and like give her a soak and clean her cage and everything, like a good soak in like a bigger tub. And she just came out, and I was wearing my work jeans at the time, which were like Levi's, and she ended up ripping like from like my knee to my thigh. She ripped the jeans and put a couple holes in my leg and like a big ass bruise. And that's
and that was a graze too, right? Like she didn't really. Yeah.
No, she basically just got like my pant leg and like barely got my skin, but so just like the force behind it gave me a bruise.
So, like, I've had a big retic literally give my dad stitches. Like, I know what kind of bites retics can do. Like, what kind of bites would, I mean, obviously behind the force of an anaconda bite, what are the teeth like, do you feel like, on an adult? Like, will it shred you up just like a retic? What do you think?
No, because the retics have that, like, serrated edge on their teeth. Anacondas don't. They're actually much smaller.
Right,
like,
they are. Yeah, they're tiny.
Smaller.
Right.
But they tend to have more teeth if you look. So they put more holes in you. But they're smaller. So it's not as bad. It doesn't hurt as bad. It's just, it happens. There was one time I did have like a 9-foot berm wrap up my hand, but it wasn't too bad. I have a video I've shown you.
what's your protocol when you get wrapped? Tell the people, let the people know. Like, if you're in a situation and a big snake wraps your arm, wraps your leg, what is a 101 protocol for Meghan when that happens?
Well, first thing is like I try and keep their coil off me. Like if they grab it and like I know they're gonna hold on because you can kind of tell. Don't let them wrap everything around you. Just kind of untangle them. You can either gently step on their tail and like gradually step on it harder, or like pinch it until they let go, or you can use like water to try and get them off. Or I use vodka if they don't let go, just because the alcohol. You just kind of pour a little in their mouth and like immediately they let go because like they just don't like.
So you have vodka like on deck, like you keep vodka in your room, like
ready to rock? A small little cheap bottle of it, yeah.
Oh God, I hope that's what it's just for. I hope you're not, Yeah. But I've heard about the alcohol thing. I heard that shit works. I heard it's like instant. They go, oh fuck that, and they just let go.
Yeah. I mean, some people use Fireball and stuff too, which works, but I just do straight vodka.
So with that being said, obviously the snake, let's kind of take it back where you're raising up this anaconda. You obviously get more, right? So at what point were you adding more anacondas to your collection?
I think I got my second one, like I think 2 or 3 years after I got the first one, and then just gradually started getting them more and more.
From who? Who was the second one from?
I don't know. My brother gave it to me as like a Christmas present.
Nice.
So I don't know where he got it. The third one, my friend traded me, and the fourth one I bought, and I just found them online. This was like way back. This is like 10 years ago still. So I don't really remember who everyone I got them from, but I would just find someone online and buy them just because I wanted more. I wasn't really planning on breeding when I got my first like couple of them. I just wanted them because I liked them. The breeding thing came about, but not until like probably 4 or 5 years into having them. So. And
then by then, you had, how big was your group? Like when it was time to look at these snakes to like, all right, should I breed them? What was your adult group like at that point?
I had 2.2, so I had 2 females and 2 males.
Oh my God, so boss.
No, wait. I may have gotten a third one in that time frame, like breeding season, or third female. So I may have had 5.
And I'm sure you played sports, or like, what did you do in high school? Like, what did you do? Did you play any sports or anything, or was it just all animals?
School, not really. It wasn't like in high school, but I grew up playing ice hockey for like 12 years.
Go figure. Oh my God, who the fuck plays ice hockey? You're like my boy Matthew Summers from California playing ice hockey. You don't meet too many people like this. I'm telling you, you're definitely different, Meghan. You understand why I did not think you're from California. You do understand that, like with all due respect.
Not really. It was kind of common knowledge. I'm from California. I feel like everyone knows that, and I've said it enough.
Dude, you even have an accent like you're if you're neighbors with Dave Levinson. Like you don't sound like you're from California.
He's not even from Missouri. I hope you know that.
Or is it Missouri? Did I say Massachusetts? My bad, Missouri.
I don't know.
No, yeah. He's from not Indy. I don't want to say Indy. Where's he from?
Buffalo, New York.
New York.
Where he was raised, and kind of Wisconsin. He was kind of all over the place.
He's definitely
like Buffalo.
He's definitely one of my favorite people I've ever met in my entire life. Like, I'm such a fan of the guy. Like, and what pisses me off that I'm a huge fan of you too, and like almost on the same level as Dave. That's why I was like really hoping you guys were neighbors. It would have made so much sense. Like, it would have brought everything. It does bring everything together because at least we're closer to being neighbors now. But I mean, I think it's awesome.
You ditched me the one time I was like right by you.
Meghan, listen, I don't know if you know me, but I'm up at 3:45 a.m. talking to alpacas, okay? You hit me up at 9:45 p.m. I didn't.
No. I told you.
Oh, no, you didn't. It was 8:45. Oh, I was actually awake. I'm so sorry. This was a technicality because I didn't have my phone near me, and I was watching a movie. That's what it was. So I told my wife, hey, listen, I got 2 homegirls. They're pretty thick in the game, and they want to come over. And she was like, do your thing. I was down to kick it. You and Jackie.
Yeah.
Damn.
Then you just stopped answering.
Huh?
Then you just stopped answering.
Can you let it go? But no. Okay, listen. Never. All right. Okay, so I want to get back to what I was trying to get at. So in high school, really? I mean, how big was the collection as far as maintaining? Like, how many snakes did you have when you graduated from high school? Where were you at numbers wise?
For like me or like, because like my brother had his own stuff, which was a lot more than me. Like me
Like in
personally,
a
on my
different
own-
room? Like in a different room or all together? Like you guys had your
No,
own
like,
separate.
separately, yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing parents. Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys had your own
So-
separate thing. So let's talk about just you, obviously. So let's like, what did you have senior year leaving, like going out of high school?
Probably about 10 snakes between like ball pythons, a boa or two, berms, I think 1 or 2 retics at the time. Obviously, anacondas I had the most of. And then I had a lizard. I had a water monitor. I still have it. So, yeah.
So what was 2 years, 1 year out of high school, you started breeding anacondas? Like how many?
Yeah, about there. About 2 years out of high school, I decided to start breeding them, and I was lucky enough to get a very small litter of them. I actually had 2 go that year. One just happened to slug out, so I got nothing. The other one only gave me 5 babies the first time I tried. They were very young females, so like every time I've noticed, like with a new female, they always either slug out the first time. Usually, like it's either very small or they'll slug. But also, I have at the time, or at least when I first started breeding like new females, the males weren't very like proven yet.
Right.
So, like now, I mean, I've gotten good ones almost every year because everything's proven.
So your first year, the first time you paired, that you got lucky, as you're saying, and you got a litter, right?
Yeah,
A small litter. How many babies?
I got 5.
Okay, 5 babies. And these are the green anacondas for people who don't know what we're talking about. These are green anacondas. Nothing against the yellows, but greens are just fucking, that's like
Better.
the jungle. Yeah, for reals. I mean, I don't want to say better. Don't be mean, but yeah, better. Anyways, so, okay. 5 babies, and they established well, or I think we talked about this a little bit, but like, you pull those babies? Do you keep them together till their first shed? What's the process? Like, what did you do?
I separate them all. They all get their own individual like tub.
Right away,
Yeah.
right? I've heard about them eating the babies. Is that true? The mom eating the babies, and that can happen if you don't pull them quick enough, or how does that usually happen?
Catch them late enough. So like the female usually will go back and eat the slugs and stillborns. Every once in a while, she'll eat like live babies. So you got to really be on top of like when the female is gonna drop and whatnot. Because I did have one eating babies. I walked in and it was eating babies. That was terrifying.
What a hoe!
It happened to be the albino. The albino is a baby eater.
Oh my God, we'll get into that in just a second. So but the first 5, you pulled them in their own, you're in their own little rack, in their own tub, right? Did you put them over paper towel, or what was the substrate you put them on?
At the time, I was using aspen bedding.
Okay.
So now I'm using Reptile, which is better. But at the time, aspen was kind of like cheap and easy to get, and they didn't really there wasn't too many other like options back then. That was almost 8-9 years ago.
What is the thing with aspen for you? Like, I mean, because I've had some keepers who swear by aspen, but for you, since you've used both, what works better for you with cocoa chip versus aspen? I'm curious.
The aspen is a lot drier. I mean, it's like easier to like spot clean and stuff because it like kind of stays in one spot. But like with like Reptile chip, sometimes you can't see their poofs because it's all the same color, so you gotta just like dig in there and find it. But with aspen, it's very like easy and you can see it, but it doesn't last as long. Like it'll get the second like a drop of water spills, it'll start to mold. So you got to be like on top of that. Or with the Reptile chip and stuff, the water just absorbs in it and it helps with humidity and stuff. With aspen, it kind of stays really dry, and it's really dusty too. Like when you're like putting it away and like shrinking it out. So
it reminds me too much of rodents too. Like I feel like I feel like I just have rodents I'm keeping with my with my snakes when I have aspen. Just preference. I don't know. So after a while, right? I mean, first off, what happened with the first 5 snakes? Did you raise them up for a while, then sell them? Did you sell them right away? What did you do with them?
I sold them. I kept one for a while just because I thought I was going to keep it. I actually sold it last year just because I decided I didn't need a bunch of normals anymore. I had a lot of just normal greens. And because once I got you know, the morphs and stuff, I was like, I can probably cut back on the normal grains. So
Megan, hold on. Megan, hold on real quick. Guys, please, with all due respect, don't do this to my girl Megan. Let's get the likes up. All due respect, the likes just need to go up. Okay. There's 88 people watching and there's only 60-ish likes. This is hella disrespectful to this girl who's like seriously girl power to the fullest. So let's get these likes up immediately. All due respect. Please continue, Megan.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. But I will have to say that it is still awesome the fact that you are breeding, that A, you got a litter off your first try. That had to be motivating. Like, I mean, did you kind of get like, were you kind of like, oh, I got this shit? Or were you just like, oh, fuck, that was lucky? Like, what was really your mindset when that happened?
It was I was kind of like, well, here's the thing. I had gotten a lot of advice from Ben Rennick at the time. So, like, he kind of, like, guided me through the first, like, breeding I did. So that's, like, he taught me a lot. Like, I probably wouldn't be breeding as well as I am without him. So.
Wow. I mean,
yeah,
this is somebody, we were just talking about how amazing person Dave Levinson is, and he is, but I'm not from the Ben Rennick generation. You are lucky enough to have been a part of that realm. Good friends with Ben. So was Dave. Like, you guys were all like a crew. Like, obviously didn't live with each other because now that I know that, but you guys, like, when it came to going hanging out at shows and stuff like that, you guys stayed tight, right? Like, you guys were all homies.
I mean, I was a lot closer with Dave. I used to be a lot shyer, so like I wouldn't like talk to a lot of people at shows, which is probably why I didn't talk to you the first time I met you. So
you stared right at. Do you know? Okay, do you remember in Arlington? Because even Dave, like me and Dave were like
Arlington. When though? Because I haven't been to Arlington in like 7 years.
No, dude. My bad. Schaumburg. I apologize. It was Schaumburg. Yeah. It was Schaumburg because it was a really nice hotel. Because remember, Schaumburg was really nice. You know, we were like, it was late. And it was after hours. Sitting down at the table, and like me and Dave were like still like it was weird because, you know, I don't know, I was trying to really get Dave on the show, and Dave was kind of ducking and dodging me with, you know, out of respect too. And so I saw him next to you. You guys were sitting down, and I think you guys were talking about something serious, but I approached you guys at the wrong time, I feel like. But I remember saying what up to Dave, and then I looked at you and I'm like, hey, I would really love to get you on the show, and you're like, you're like okay. Like, it was kind of like, you know, I don't know. I could read people pretty well. And with all due respect, you were just like, get the fuck out of here right now, guy. I don't know who you are, but I'm trying to talk to Dave. So I was like, damn, I fucked that up. But it's all good, dude. Like, listen.
I remember sitting at the table. I don't really remember you there, but I remember
it was at the lobby. No, it was at the lobby. It was like the couch area. We were sitting at the couch area. Remember, there was an escalator, like there was like there was like,
yeah.
You walk.
Okay.
And
I was preoccupied. I remember what happened.
You were preoccupied. I'm telling you.
I was talking to someone. Dave was there for like 5 minutes, and you walked up, but I was already talking to like someone else at the time who I'm now dating. So, yeah.
I was out of line. It was me. I promise. But listen, bro, shooters take their shots, and here we are talking about it, laughing about it, and listen, it's some things are worth retrying at. I wasn't gonna, dude. My mission was to get you on. It was gonna happen. It was just a matter of time. Just how you're gonna follow me, right? I'm number 46. I feel it. Either that, or you have to unfollow Desiree. That's the thing. And I'm pretty sure.
I remember I was talking to Desiree at that show. I don't remember you though.
Listen, we're gonna wrap things up. I'm just kidding.
Wait, how many people am I following? Oh yeah, I'm not following. I have 45. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm not following you.
You're not. And we get along. Like, dude, look at that. Follow back. Dude, out of all the respect, there's people probably laughing at me right now. Can you like just on this live for your boy, just hit the follow button?
Fine. Where's the button?
Right there.
There.
Oh my God. That's how you stay That's how you stay consistent, people. 46, I will take it. I'm going to smoke to that one. Thanks, Megan. I feel better. I feel like a brat. But listen, at the end of the day, I want what I want, and I wanted that follow. Thank you so much.
I'll unfollow you later.
No, you fucker. You better not do that. That's rude. Who unfollows people? I do. Dude, okay. You want to? Okay, we'll talk about this because I'm sure you've had this. Awkward moments at shows. Like people you don't know walk up to you, and you're just like, what? You know what I mean? I was talking to some friends in Texas that were from California, just met up with them. And I had this lady walk up and like mid conversation, she goes, "Hey, MJ, why did you unfollow me? You unfollowed me." And I'm like, and I swear, Megan, I promise you, like I have unfollowed people and I will tell them I unfollowed you because of this, and that. But I don't even know who this lady was. She's like, "This is who I am." And she showed me, and like, she's not even following me, but she's like, I'm just hurt that you unfollowed me. I showed you so much support. And like literally for 5 minutes telling me how disappointed she is that I unfollowed her. The most awkward thing I've ever been in. So just to stop her, I followed her. I just did what you did. And then so don't do that, please. Don't unfollow me. I'd appreciate it. It would really mean a lot. But
Okay.
tell me, dude, there's awkward people at shows. Admit it. Like there's times where you're just like, dude, can you like even weird situations, even kicking it at the bar, you have random people who will just come into the group and just make the vibe. Wow, I'm just talking about myself right now. But like people who come into the group and just fuck up the vibe, and you're just like, who is this guy? Like, does anyone know this guy? And some of it could be cool, but then there's sometimes where it's like uncomfortable. Like there's it's weird.
Yeah, there's been a couple like weird random moments before.
But you know, if you hang out with Dave, then nothing gets more weird than that. So you're in a good place. So it's like
Dave makes it more awkward, but like in a funny way, so everyone's laughing about it.
Right. It's a good time versus like silence and just like looking around and like, what the fuck?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're with Dave at a show, it's either a good time or it's awkward and fun.
Let's kind of go back to the Ben Rennick legacy as far as you. I know you were more closer with Dave, but if I'm not mistaken, the albino anacondas that you have, the female that you have, came from Ben Rennick. Is that right?
Right. So I got 6 from Ben. So Ben bred, well, not albinos, but anacondas.
Anacondas. I'm just saying, yeah, still.
There's 6 of them. So there was a pair of aneries, which I don't think they're compatible. I think there's 2 different lines, or one is just nothing, and I have to figure that out. Then there's the double heads that were made with the male anery to the T-positive albino. And then, so there's those 3, and then the double heads, which were obviously. Yeah.
So when you inquired these animals, did Ben try breeding them at that point yet, or like where were they at?
Ben had made the double heads with the anery male and the T-positive albino, and they were almost ready to breed. They were like kind of close to that age, but they still needed some more size. When I got them, they probably still needed about 2 years, but I haven't been successful with the double heads just yet. But he was trying to breed them. Like he was trying to make, albinos and snows and all that stuff.
But I mean, was he like getting as much success as did you see more results than he did as far as when you first started pairing them up? Like, how was it going for you in the beginning with those?
So the first year I had them, I did breed a double head to the anery female, and I got some babies. So yeah, he always had trouble trying to breed that anery female, or what we think is an anery female, which I said, like I said, I have to prove her out. So he hadn't been successful with her, but he was successful with the albino, obviously, because he bred the anery to her and got the double heads.
Right.
At this point, like I have been more successful or lucky with it, I guess, because obviously I've bred them more than he was able to in the time he had them. So.
And so far, you bred them how many times?
So the albino once, the anery female once.
And the albino female, that was 2 years ago? How long ago was that?
That was so technically it was like a year and a half ago, but like they can breed every 2 years, but she had babies back in September.
Okay. I mean, and as far as the recovery goes, I mean, did she take it? I mean, I know that some boas could like really take a lot out of them when they give birth. I mean, what was it for her? I mean, did she bounce back pretty quick? Did she retain most of her weight?
No, so she didn't really retain any weight. She actually was eating babies. She's the one I walked in on eating babies.
Oh, yeah, right. How many did she eat?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I just, like I said, I used vodka to make them let go of things. I poured some vodka in her mouth and she spit it back out because she was eating an albino. So
did the albino, did it die or did it make it? The one that had it?
Fine.
Damn.
It was fine, yeah.
Well, like you said, you don't know how many she had eaten before that. Like, was this in the morning or what time was this at?
In the morning. I walked in, found her in the morning.
Damn, bro. That sucks.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? That's some crazy wildlife type shit. That's what happens. I mean, shit, what are you going to do? Can't do shit.
She is a wild caught animal, so it's only their natural behavior.
Is that really her documentation? She's from the wild?
Oh, yeah. That's how every like morph comes in or came in because you can't import them anymore. But yeah, no, she was wild caught.
And she's the world's first albino anaconda to come into the United States, right?
From what I've heard, 3 came in at the same time she did. 1 arrived dead. Another one got sent somewhere and then died, and she was like the sole survivor.
Right. So, I mean, what are your thoughts right now? I mean, obviously you're pretty passionate about the project, but do you feel like you're getting closer as far as getting a grip on this project and, starting to, where we at, you think?
Kind of. I mean, there's still a lot to figure out. Like the aneries, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the anery female and the male because, like I said, that's just what I was told they were. I have to prove them out myself to know. But I'm trying to pair up the double heads this year, so hopefully that'll prove out at least the male lineage and see if he's actually an anery or not.
Right. So I'm curious, Megan. As far as the dieting on your adult anacondas, like what are your adult females on, and like does it switch up when you get closer to breeding, or how does that work with these?
Closer to breeding, I feed them a little bit more. Like on average, I feed them every 3 weeks. But closer to breeding, you kind of want to pump them up a little bit more, just because they do stop eating for like 8 months and they lose a lot of weight. Then, yeah, that's kind of it for those. And then once they do have babies, you kind of want to get a meal in them as soon as possible. So usually before they go into shed again, I'll give them a meal, and it's always like a small meal. But I always give them like small meals like once a week for like a month and a half, and then I'll switch it to like 2 weeks and a bigger meal, and then every 3 weeks it's like a bigger meal.
What's the typical meal size? Like, what are you feeding your adults?
I'm feeding them rabbits and pigs, and they all different in weight depending on what they're doing. Like if they're getting ready to breed, I give them small meals more often. If it's just like a normal feeding, they'll get like a big meal, and it'll be like a month before they get another one.
Now, your brother has a crucial plug on pigs. Am I right? Am I wrong? Like, he has like a heavy plug on some pigs.
Yeah,
that's right. Is that where you get your pigs from?
Yeah, I get pretty much all my feeders from him because he does rats too.
Right.
I mean, if he doesn't have what I want, I'll order from like Cold Blooded. So.
From who?
Cold Blooded.
I have to plug that. I get paid to do
it.
So what do you want me to do? Well, listen. Okay, so to go back to as far as like, let's just talk about the average keeper who's keeping an anaconda, not breeding or anything like that. What would you recommend somebody? Like, what would you what diet would you recommend for an adult male female anaconda for just like a regular pet keeper? Like in your opinion?
I mean, I do pigs just because it's easier for me, but. I mean, rabbits, obviously. It also depends. Some males can get kind of picky and just want to eat rats sometimes. And then, like, around breeding season, I have a couple that will just stay on rats strictly when it's, like, coming up to breeding season. And then they'll, like, go off feed. But then they'll switch back. When it's not breeding season, they'll switch back to, like, pigs or rabbits. Like, it's weird. Each one is different. So, you just kind of have to figure out what your snake likes. So that's just how I go. Like I said, certain ones want this 1 week and something else another week.
Now, how comfortable are you, Megan, with like, let's just say you have a male not doing as good as a job as the other male. Are you using that male to more than one female most times, or do you just keep one-on-one for the most part?
I'll put them to other females sometimes, but for the most part, I have like pairs of anacondas that like it's weird. So like I am very picky with it. So like I notice when certain parents throw out like a weird colored baby or like a weird pattern to it, and I'll try and do that again and see if it like replicates.
Duplicates, right.
So I usually will pair like a certain male and female again and again with each other, and then another male with another female, just because they do throw these weird combinations. Like I have one that just came out looking hypo. It's weird. It didn't really color up until like 6 months old. It came out like almost pitch black, and now it's like the lightest thing I've ever seen.
That's crazy.
And it came from 2 normals, so I'm just kind of going with that.
Now, do you feel like there's going to be more change throughout its life? You have some snakes that just only get better with age. What do you feel like this one's headed?
Yeah, I think so. It's got like almost like a paradox spot to it that's like turning orange on it.
Wow.
As it grows, it's like it's lightening up more and more. So
now, how combative can these anacondas be when pairing? Obviously there's been horror stories where ticks getting fucked up and shit. I mean, I've seen it, but are you going through any kind of like nightmare situations when pairing anacondas?
Not really, because I don't really pair them where there's like huge size difference. Like my males are kind of big, and like all of them are kind of on the bigger side. Like my biggest male is 12 feet.
Right.
So
your biggest male's 12 feet?
Yeah. But he's not very thick. He's like that thick. Where a female who's that big will be that thick.
Right. There's a substantial difference with the females and males.
Right.
Right. Just like the ticks. It's sometimes, I don't know. I've seen big males too. Like I've had this quote unquote dwarf male, which by the way, like shout out to my boy Andrew Acevedo. Andrew is obviously, I think Andrew is. I think we talked at the he was fucked up. Next year you're like, hey, get your friend some water. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, I've known him for a while.
Yeah. But he sold me my first actual true super dwarf, and when I met him, I was sending him pictures of golden childs and calling them super dwarfs because that's what they were sold to me as. And he's like, that's not a super dwarf. That's not a super dwarf. I basically had all mainlands, and I was just one of those other idiot new keepers, just fucking believing this guy, whatever they're telling me, and giving him my money. And that's what that was. But thankfully, Andrew fucking put me on game and taught me the right way and whatnot. But what is it like with you as far as like, I don't know. Let me just say, like, when it comes to selling your anacondas, are you pretty lax on who they go to, or do you post them up? Like, how are you selling your anacondas when it comes time to selling anacondas?
I'll post like I have them. People just like contact me. I am pretty picky. Like I'll go through someone's like profile and like look and see if like
I do that too. Yeah.
Or like I'll ask them a bunch of questions and like make sure they actually have big snake experience.
Right.
So I don't really like just selling to anyone. Just because I want them to have the best life. And no, I don't think everyone should own an anaconda just because it's cool.
That's definitely the last reason why you should own anacondas, because it's cool. Like, to be honest. Right. And unfortunately, with the new keepers coming in, a lot of them do get influenced based off what they see on social media, and some people who, that's why I encourage to anyone new get mentorship. Because you have people who get into this who think, showing live feedings are still cool on social media. And that's like, I mean, I thought they were pretty cool when I first started, but then after a while, like, it gets old, and you got to understand like how it's not good for the average person to come across that. Especially like there's people who love rats too. Like there's legit rat people, like rat communities out there. And you understand, like, I mean, like my dad's a weirdo. My dad he likes watching the fucking snakes eat. He's like, send me a live video. I don't like that shit. Like I feed because I have to fucking feed my snake. But there's people out there who just love the enjoyment of watching something die and watching that whole like thing go down. I'm not that guy for whatever, this is why I just can't breed rats. Like, even though I did, it just like that whole death thing really fucks with me. But there's people out there who just love it. But as a hobby, for us trying to be in a limelight of good stuff, it's just not the move to be posting like, because everybody wants clout, everyone wants followers. And when you're a nobody, not that you're nobody, but when you don't have a following, what's one way to get attention? Show a rat get eaten on your fucking page. You know what I mean? So, but that's not the kind of attention you want, is all I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, that's why, I have homies that come to me and I tell them, hey, look, that's just probably not the right. I'm not gonna tell you to take it down, but theoretically, like you at a point will get old seeing it yourself. Like you'll just be like, you know what I mean? Like it's just an everyday thing. You're just feeding another snake. Like keep it moving. It's not a fucking big deal. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I got to ask you, Megan, like you've been in this game long enough. You've seen, this whitelist shit before. I mean, what's your feeling with this US ARC stuff? Like, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like scary, but obviously it's scary because like you're gonna be able to not if you're okay. So if you're breeding and selling, you're not gonna be able to sell at the state anymore. So like that's if people who are doing this like full time, it's gonna hurt their business, obviously.
Right.
So like for that, and then like and if you want to move out of state, you can't take them with you. And if it's something you love, it kind of sucks. You know, so it's like it just really sucks altogether. So
yeah, it really does. You know, but the only thing we could do is come together, right? I mean, for the most part, because I mean, who else is coming to bat for us? Like, I would understand if there's different departments or like different lawyers, but like all we have is Phil Goss. Literally, that's all we have is Phil. Like, that's it, Phil.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel like maybe now that it's more than just reptiles, there's going to be more people getting involved, which I hope.
yeah.
But
Well,
as of
'cause,
right
like,
now, I've just seen the reptile community.
supposedly there's like nothing like US Arc for the fish people. I'm not sure about the bird people, but I heard Phil's working to get the fish people like on to ride with us basically so we can come together. And at the end of the day, like I keep hearing like, oh, you don't want to mess with fish people, you don't want to mess with bird. Dude, you don't want to mess with any animal people. I can tell you that right now.
There's
doesn't matter.
so many bird and fish people compared to like reptile people. Like
because
if everyone just got involved, it would be like massive.
Game
And I think
changing.
it would. Yeah, game changing for sure.
Yeah. Because I guarantee there's people who even support PETA and these fucking people that are making big issues that they don't understand that what they're doing affects the birds and fish and everything else. You know what I mean? They're not too knowledgeable of what's happening. They're just more like backing up PETA because that's what's right. But they're not fucking, you know, using their 2 cents and like, you know, talking to their actual fucking family member who probably truly loves animals. I guarantee there's not one, I mean, I don't want to say that, but for the most part, there's not a whole entire family that hates animals. You probably have that one weirdo off person who does not like an animal, but for the most part, any person I meet, they fucking love animals. Like, may not be snakes, but it's a dog, it's a cat, it's a fish, it's something. It's kind of like, you know, somebody who doesn't like music. Yeah, I've heard that one-off weirdo who says, I don't like music, and that's true, and that's okay, but dude, I don't know where my life would be without music. Like, I can't even fucking do snake work without music. Like, I don't know. Everyone has their own fucking thing that floats their boat. But for the most part, Megan, you know, most people love animals. Like, and there's just a huge piece missing on why there's a PETA that's so big. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the more we get involved for us to back each other up, the more we have a chance to not have to go through any of this fucking horrific bullshit that's happening, you know?
Right. And we've kind of gone through it a couple of years ago. 6 or 7 years ago.
6, 7 years ago. I remember when I first came into it, it was still being talked about how like it was just done and whatnot. Like shit was really bad. It was just coming down from getting really bad when I got into the game in 2017, 2016. And I remember hearing about it, and then here we are again. You know what I mean? So, but you know, at the end of the day, there's more people involved now. I mean, the hobby has grown a shit ton, Megan, in the last 5-6 years. Like, dude, it's like it's popping now. Like, people want to keep reptiles. Like, herps is in, you know, but we got to spread awareness. Like, we got to fucking let people know, like, you know, there are weirdos out there trying to keep us from, you know, us being weird. Like, we're animal weird. Does that make sense? I don't fucking.
Yeah, us being weird.
I mean, we're good weird. Weird's not always a bad thing, you know. There's just like I mean, I don't know. They're just fucking sick. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get involved because people are just piece of shits. At the end of the day, like, I don't feel like humans. I don't want to say this, but I don't feel like humans deserve the type of animals that we keep as a whole, because we have proven not to take care of the animals that we should take care of them. But we are getting a lot better. Like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I've always had a huge thing with pit bulls because of the way I've seen pit bulls abused and treated in my neighborhoods growing up. Like, how people fucking just abuse. And I love dogs. Like, that made me just want to love them. And same thing with snakes. Like, you gotta understand, I got prepared getting into work. Okay, so I got into ball pythons, Megan, and then I wanted to get into imports. I wanted to get into green trees and like mangroves and all this difficult shit. And I had friends telling me, hey man, just, you know, I would just slow down and not spread yourself too thin. And sure enough, I was getting all this shit in that was dying on me. And I was like beating my fucking self up over these snakes dying. And even though I had homies telling me, listen, this is just the import game. Like, this is how it goes. I was literally thinking I was the biggest piece of shit. I thought I wasn't meant to keep these animals. But as soon as I kind of like just shut the fuck up and just went through the process and stopped beating myself up over the small things and just learned, it got better, but that was a passion of mine. So you got to understand, for me to be like that with me, doing that to my own animals, and then I go to a collection scene neglected, like no matter whose collection is, like I've been to multiple people's collections where they're not fucking kept the way they kept. Like you get hit with an aroma. Like I'm talking about you. I'm sure you've been in a room where you get smacked in the face and you're like, what the fuck? There's something dead in here. Like I smell it. Like, dude, my nose, I don't even fuck my eyes. When I go into my room, first thing I'm worried about is my nose. Like I smell my room just to see what's going on. And the fact that I'm so keen on that smell, like that's how I judge people's rooms when I walk in, the smell of it, straight up. You want to know how a room's really kept? If you walk into a big room, if you walk into a room with a bunch of snakes, smell the motherfucker. If you're getting smacked in the face with the aroma of shit, I mean, there's that like bedding smell, there's that paper smell, like there's that, like obviously it's gonna smell like something, but you know that aroma. I've been in a room where you know I'm talking about what kind of aroma I'm talking about, like really bad.
Piss and stuff.
Smells like regurg everywhere. Like you just have to leave. Like have you ever been in a room where you just had to leave? Like you just had to like leave it. You're like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you never forgot that either, right?
No.
So I take that stuff to heart. You know what I mean? And there's been, luckily for the most part, the rooms I've walked in like that, I wasn't really too close to the person. I was just like, just there, and I'm like, okay, like see you later. And but if you're close to me, like especially if you're on my Patreon page, any of that kind of neglect shit, I just don't stand for it, because it's if you can't take care of the animal, then don't keep the animal. Don't fucking have it. It's not yours to keep if you can't keep it. Just like how, people shouldn't be having kids if you can't fucking keep a kid. Like there's just humans, people, they're shit. I'm telling you, this is what makes me so mad. Like we wouldn't be in this position if we just weren't such like neglectors as humans as a whole. I'm not talking about the reptile community. I'm just talking about the average person who comes in, gets an animal, and just doesn't really give a fuck about it. It's sad, but that's why we come together. If we're together, like a lot of this sad shit's not as sad when we're all together, if that makes sense. Like that's why this whole US ARC thing is so important, I feel like. So I mean, let me ask you this. How long have you been a part of like the US ARC auctions? Like how do you remember your first US ARC auction?
Kind of, yeah. So I was a teenager. My brother had just turned 21, and he was drinking with everyone. And I had to drive his ass home, and he ended up puking my car.
Oh, jeez.
After I told him to stop drinking.
That's a US ARC auction, dude. Fucking US ARC auction got him. My God. Do you want to know what happened to my first US ARC auction? Embarrassing. You want to hear this one? I got so trashed. I fucking left I got so trashed at the auction, went to the bar, was buying all these people drinks. I remember just having the time of my life, not giving a fuck. And then next thing you know, I black out and I wake up in my driveway. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? My mouth just wasted, just like completely blacked out. I don't have my wallet, don't have my ID. And then I get a call from Cusco, or he sends me a text with a question mark. And I'm like, just reading it all fucked up. I'm like, what? He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, what do you mean, am I okay? He's like, you really left the bar in bad shape, and you left to open a $500 tab. I was like, oh shit. No clue what I did. And that was a bad hangover. Let me just say that. Like, I was trying to put the pieces to the puzzle that whole night. And
which one was this? What auction was this?
Pomona 2019. Pomona. No, 2018? 2018 or 2019 Pomona. It was the last Pomona that Forrest was at.
Okay, so I was there. No. Yeah. Did you go to that lounge thing where Cusco was like wrestling with Andy?
Yes, I didn't go. Okay, I left right before.
That was one of the most awkward situations. Not Cusco, like something else had happened. But there was like this Canadian guy that was sitting there hitting on me the whole night. And Dave's here, like just staring at him. Like
JP. Oh my God, that is hilarious. That's the Canadian guy. Just had him on the show.
No, not him. It was someone like they brought. There was like 4 different Canadians.
Dude, I'm pretty sure this is JP.
I don't think so.
Are you sure? Did he look like Ernie?
No, he was from that. No, he was one of the guys that came with like those like cage building guys that were from that show that was on Animal Planet.
I'm lost. I was hoping it was JP. God damn it.
I don't think it was JP.
That would have been great. All right, JP, you're off the hook. Fuck, that would have been epic. No, but I did hear about I definitely heard about an awkward moment because of a guy making things awkward. But then I also remember and hearing about Cusco and Andy Gabbs really going at it. Like they fucking it got serious. It got a little serious for a second.
Fighting, but they got serious into their fighting. Like someone wanted to win, but it wasn't like an angry situation.
Well, here's the thing. Cusco could come off as a hippie all he wants, but he doesn't like to lose. Cusco's not somebody who likes to lose. So
and he was winning.
Yeah, Cusco's strong. Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. I'm sorry, man. I know Andy Gabbs likes to shoot and he has guns, but he ain't fucking up Cusco. Cusco has that Samoan Hawaiian blood in him. He's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a really nice guy. You know what I mean? He's just a lovable guy. But I'm really mad at dude. I would have got in on that action. I swear to God, I would if I was there. But I can't remember. But yeah, that was a wild night, dude. I heard motherfuckers did not sleep that night. Like they went hard that night, like hard.
See, I think I met you at that show because you were hanging out with Miguel.
I was, but I would have remembered. Actually, we probably did meet each other, but I don't remember because I would have remembered at that point. Who knows? I was very green at that time too. I barely knew anyone. I was just the only person I really hung out with and wanted to be known with was with Miguel and Forrest. Those were like the two guys I really hung out with at that time.
That was when I first met Forrest too. Like Dave knew him. That's when I actually met him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I knew about Dave. So I didn't meet Dave, but Forrest told me who Dave was, and Dave looked like such a character. I just wasn't ready to meet him. I was just like, is that guy for reals? Like he had like that crazy mustache that was so like, it literally looked like he was in character for something, but it was just him. It was just Dave being Dave. And
so he does it two different ways. He does it where he like curls it, and then he does it where it's like straight out, and it's really funny.
But Dave was like, dude, Dave will just stand there and stare at you. Like he just wasn't saying anything. Like he was just and he has these eyes. Like I can't get over it. Like, anyways, I can't tell you the day what it meant to me to actually meet Dave, which I actually met him finally at Tinley. No, not Tinley. What was after Tinley?
The Schaumburg one where you tried to talk to me and we both were like,
I think that's what it was. Yep. I think you're right. You're right. Yep. You're right. Because that was the first show I went to where I had the Zoo Dream shirt. Yep. You're right. Damn. That was so long ago. Fuck. Time flies. COVID really just fucking like
a year ago.
Schaumburg was about to be 2 years ago.
No, that was a year ago. It was back in June.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta stay off the peyote. I'm pretty fucked up. So let me ask you this: what shows are you like? Because you didn't go to Arlington, and I was pretty butthurt about that. But what are your like shows that you go to for sure?
Tinley, the Chicago shows. So Tinley, Schaumburg, San Diego. I'll go to. Pomona, Anaheim, stuff like that.
Dude, don't you feel like San Diego's shows could do better? Like they're missing the vibe. They're missing the vibe, and San Diego's like, beautiful.
It is. It's where it's at is kind of weird. Like parking's weird. The convention center is weird.
It is
like
funky.
It's not really near anything. I mean, you could walk to like the bars and stuff. I have a really funny story about the San Diego show. Though.
Tell me.
I had my 21st birthday down there. Like,
what a place to have it. Oh my God, tell me about it. I want to know about it.
So it was actually like a week after my birthday, but this is like when me and my friend Jackie like became like best friends. Like we knew each other. I had told her a couple snakes before. That was when we actually like hung out. So what happened was we do the show and it's Saturday night, and her husband had made this like 5-pound gummy bear and soaked it in like 5 different alcohol things. I don't even know what it was.
Oh my God, they still do that.
Yeah. So one of our friends, Mike Clarkson, ate it or got it. He ate like half it. My brother even had some of it. They were just gone. And everyone somehow ended up at the Coyote Ugly. And we're sitting in this like double booth thing. Mike's over here eating a pizza. He took a sombrero off the wall. And his pizza, he has anything you can find on the table, he's putting on his pizza. Salt, pepper, hot sauce, ketchup, mustard, anything. And his wife is telling him no more, and he just ordered like a Jack and Coke. And I'm over there already kind of drunk because it's my 21st birthday. Everyone's kind of buying me drinks. I'm sitting there with a drink called like a bikini remover or something, and I'm like halfway done with it. I end up taking Mike's Jack and Coke, and I have 2 straws going at it, and I'm sitting there, and Jackie's next to me, and I just stop and sit back. And she looks at me, and she goes, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "I don't know." A couple minutes goes by, and she's like, "Are you still good?" I was like, "No, not at all." She's like, "All right, do we have to go to the bathroom?" I was like, "Yeah." So we like run there. The women's bathroom is locked. It's out of service. So we look at each other and we're like, we're going to the men's. So I'm trying to like puke, leaning over a urinal, and some dude walks in, looks at us, and she explains what's happening. He goes to the urinal next to me and whips it out, trying to pee.
Oh my God, why you're puking?
I end up going into the stall.
Why didn't you go to the fucking stall? Why are you puking on the urinal for? That's disgusting.
I have no idea.
Oh my God.
I don't
Way to go,
remember.
Jackie.
This is what Jackie's telling me. Like, this is my 21st birthday. This is like the last time I ever like really drank too.
I bet. Yeah, that would make me not want to drink ever again. You're fucking yakking over urinal. Some guy's dick's fucking peeing right next to my mouth. Ugh, what a time.
What I remember though is like we ended up in the stall where I actually puked, and I was fighting Jackie about holding my hair back because I wanted to do it myself, and I was good at it, but she was like fighting me on it. So I was just like sitting there like trying to grab it like this, and she's over there trying to help me, and I'm like, no, it's fine. I didn't really know her that well at the time, but now we're like best friends.
Well, I mean, that's the way you connect is after a good night of puking, you know? It's the way it works. Now, let me ask you this. What was the night like? What was the morning like the next day? I bet you were fucking hating life.
I think everyone told me to chug water the night before, so it wasn't like super bad, but it was still kind of bad.
Damn. Crazy.
Yeah,
what a time. But really, I could say I do always wonder though, and I think Rami's actually in the chat. Shout out to Rami, but Rami's in the building, and I'm a very passionate hometown person of San Diego. I love my city. We have the best Mexican food. We have the best beaches. I feel like we have amazing shit down here, but I feel like the shows could just do better. I feel like we could get more big dogs down at the shows and make more of a thing out of it. San Diego's popping. You have Tijuana, like go to Hong Kong and party. Are you kidding me? Like so many things we can do as together as a unit. I don't know. Day by day. Hey, listen, I want to shout out some super chats. I'm sorry, I haven't been showing any love to super chats. My boy Andrew from Redwood Reptiles, he's actually an LA native, and he's curious. What high school did you go to?
El Segundo.
El Segundo Pythons. That makes sense. Well, and was that a big high school or was that kind of a low-key high school?
It's not huge, but it's not like small. So, okay, here's the best way to put it. Have you ever seen the movie Superbad?
Yes, like that.
That's my high school. They filmed everything in high school. Yeah.
Ah, what a trip! Crazy.
Yeah.
Nice. My boy Silver Cash here wants to know: have you ever experienced a parthogenic clutch or parthogenic lay with an anaconda before?
No, not yet.
Now, how does that work? You feel like is it just random? Like, how often are people experiencing that?
I've only heard of it in like a couple zoos, and it's usually when they have like a bunch of females together in one thing, which is weird. I don't know, because they'll like check all their anacondas to make sure there isn't a male, and then they realize like, okay, it is a partho. But no, I've never experienced it, and I haven't heard of it very often. It's just I hear about it when zoos do it. So
respect. This is actual Martin Moore's second super chat of the night. First one was 50, now 20. Shout out to my boy. Girl power. Hit that button. Hit that like button. Where we at? How many likes are we at? 92. I'll take that. That's respect. We have 93 people watching, 92 likes. That's more Meghan Kelley. I feel like that's more respectable. I appreciate it.
Where are you seeing the like? I can like it. There you go.
Oh, I can. You just have to go to YouTube. I think I have one more.
YouTube says 44.
No, you have to refresh it. Refresh it.
I gotta go find you again.
I guarantee you're not even subscribed to my channel.
I'm not. I'm subscribed to nobody, by the way.
Just hit the. It's free. You don't have to hit the notification bell. Just hit the subscribe button. That's more. No, it's not more important than the follow. I'll take the follow. Never mind. I'm gonna stop bitching. I'll take the follow. I'm gonna take what I can get. But what are we looking at right now? Oh, the likes. Yeah, the likes. We should be at 93 likes. If you have not hit. We're at 98 now. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get over 100 likes for my girl Meghan. Let's go, please. We still got more. I got 30 more minutes in this, and I got more to talk about. Let's get some more.
I should do the dislike button on myself.
Well, nobody can see it, so go ahead.
I did take that.
You're just doing it for yourself. So I honestly am so happy that YouTube took the dislike button away. Even though I didn't like, I would always get like 2 or 3. I would get dislikes, but like honestly, the only reason why a dickhead wants to dislike is so they could see it that it's there. That's all they give a fuck about. So you gotta understand how much of the dislike went away. The fact that those Bob Smith, depressed Karens can't see the dislike no more. That was genius. I love it. I thought it was great. Fucking haters.
What was the reason they took it away? Because there was like some big reason they took the dislike
I
button
think
away.
something with the negativity. It's just like it's like something like to encourage like positivity or something like that. I think they were talking about taking away likes on Instagram too. They've been talking about that for a while, but they were talking about having a platform with no likes, like you just post. You know what I mean? I feel
like that would just die really fast.
It's super. You see what I'm saying? Well, you know, people are motivated to post based off the numbers they see. You know what I mean? You take that away, I guarantee that shit was just, you know what I mean?
If you're someone like me, like I don't comment on a lot of stuff. Like I rarely comment on stuff. Like I'll like it if I like it, you know? Like that's kind of how I show support. I'm not very vocal, so I don't just comment on stuff. If I comment on something, you're usually pretty important to me.
Respect. Oh my God, you comment on my stuff before? I'm in a good place right now.
Mostly just to mess with you.
I'll take it though. It's still energy coming from Meghan. I'll take it. Shit. Marshall Hawkins, what's up, player? Showing support. Love your work, Meghan Kelley. It's Kelley, and she's from the West Coast. Please get it correct. I'm just kidding. And by the way, it's the coolest Reptile podcast ever. You're the man. Thank you so much, Marcel. You're a good Trap Talk Patreon family member for sure. All right, is there any more? Oh, we have another one. Ooh, big one. The homie Willop. I called him Willop. William.
He was at that show when Dave was there, and Cusco was. Yeah, he's my buddy.
He's the homie. This is the homie William. He does strength training. He's fucking swole as fuck. Dude, the guy's strong. He's a mule. He's fucking.
I know. I've met him.
Big fan of Meghan. All hail the Conda Queen for sure. That's the Conda Queen right here. The time I came out of Pomona was an interesting night, but funny. Wait, you came out? What do you mean you came out? What does that mean? Oh, I got you.
He came out with Dave. He was helping Dave at the booth.
I thought like came out, you know. That's what I thought at first. I was like, what? I didn't know. That's cool too. You know what I mean? I got gay homies, but no, that's not what he is. That's not what he meant. But
yeah,
dude,
I know.
William, I met William at multiple shows. Pomona's one of them, but we had a good time. I think at the last Arlington, was it right, William? The last Arlington, or could have been? I know Schaumburg. He was there at Schaumburg.
Was he?
Wow, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. I don't know. William pops up. Anyways,
I don't know.
Much love and support to the homie William. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for tapping in. What's your other than? Let's talk about something. Oh, hold on, real quick. Another one. Animal Con. I'll definitely be going. Oh yeah, have you ever heard of Animal Con? You know it's a new thing this year.
No, where's that?
So Brian Barczyk, Brian Potter, and Bob Ashley are coming together and throwing a huge fucking like thing in Florida in Daytona called Animal Con. And it's like a new thing. It's like kind of like a new show. I think it's going to be mostly like targeting with influencers, like YouTube influencers. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not a fan of a lot of YouTube influencers. I'm not going to lie. And I'm somebody who am very transparent. So I don't want to just be that buzzkill if I'm going to a place that's all about influencers. And if I'm not really fucking with a lot of influencers, I just, you know, if I'm going to go, I'm going to support Brian. You know what I mean? Right. But at the end of the day, not everyone's doing it like Brian is. And even, I love Brian, but even Brian sometimes is like, fuck, like, you know, like I like people who work and do what he does. It's not easy because obviously you're under a huge, you know, magnifying glass. I can't speak right now, but a huge spotlight. You know what I mean? So there's obviously a line that you're crossing. I mean, a line that you're walking the entire time doing it. So you can never be perfect when doing animal content. But there's just people out there who are just not good at it at all and lead by bad examples. And dude, I can't help but to hear people talk. And lately, I've been hearing about a big animal influencer who's big on YouTube, who's like robbing people, and he's like going around shows and like, you know, getting all like doing all these like promos with them. But then like, I'm hearing all these stories about how he robs people, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to name drop it because it's acquisition. It's not for sure, and I don't want to. You know, I could tell you after the show, but I can tell you right now, anyone listening, and you know, not too many people are being accused of robbing people, especially in the industry. So this is a rumor that's been going around, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Because with that being said, even if you didn't know who I was, Megan, if you knew or heard that I was robbing people, I'm pretty sure you would want nothing to do with me, or you would want nothing to even associate yourself with if that was anything being said about me. Am I right? Like, wouldn't that be something you'd want to eliminate yourself with if that was the case?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to be associated with that person.
And that's the thing, you know, as much as like these accusations are being said, there's people still kicking it with this guy. And I'm just like, it's just beyond me. Like, even if it's not true or whatever, like something should be addressed. And here's the thing, Megan, like I know a lot of people are just in here to do things with animals, and it is about the animals. But at the end of the day, this is a business too. People are making a living off this. This is a fucking serious thing for some people. So for me, you know, if I hear anyone's trying to fucking rob anybody, it is a concern to me. You know what I mean? And if it gets close to me, then I address it. The thing is, it's not close to me. It's not close to my circle. I'm just like, but at the end of the day, I just don't like how people just brush it under the rug. You know what I mean? And there's been so many things that, and you know this, like there's been so much backstabbing and so much fucked up shit that's gone down in this industry that a lot of people don't even talk about or know about. Maybe a few do, but so much shit just gets brushed under the rug. And I'm just not somebody to, I don't know. I don't feel good about that. Forrest used to make fun of me all the time. He's like, dude, you remind me of me 10 years ago. You care about all this shit. And you know, I just don't give a fuck no more. And the thing is, like, I still care. Like, I don't see myself not giving a fuck. Like, you know, and God bless Forrest. Like, Forrest is from a different generation. He was caping animals and doing this shit before this thing was like popular on social media. But see, I'm from a new generation, and I feel like this new generation does care more, and they want to care. And I don't know, man. Like, you are who you hang around yourself with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to fucking identify yourself, then look around your peers, look around the people you associate yourself with, and that's who you are. That's all I gotta say. And that's, Megan, I will say, as much as I love Dave, I always see you with Dave, and that's I put that into consideration. That's respect. Like, when I go to shows and I link up with my people, I respect all the people those people kick it with. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And you got to be smart like that. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Dave for so long now at this point. Like, even before like the whole Anaconda thing. Like, I've known Dave. We were friends for at least 10 years now.
Right.
So.
Now, I mean, I don't want to get in, like, dip into the dark stuff at all, but I mean, I got to ask you, like, what was the feeling, like, you know, because, you know, I went through it. I was close with Forrest, you know, and Forrest passed away like a year or so after Ben passed away, but Dave was close with both of them. But like, what was it? How did that hit you when you heard about Ben? Like, do you recall what the feeling was like? Or
it was more shock. Like I said, I wasn't like super close with Ben. He was more of like a mentor. Where, like, I always ask questions. We talk about Anacondas, like all that stuff. Like, I wasn't like super close friends with him. It was more like a mentor thing.
Right.
I think that's how I describe it, I guess. It was more of a shock. I didn't believe it at first until, like, you know, more of the information came out and stuff. Like, I heard about, like, I think the same day it happened.
Yeah.
So, because, like, and then, like I said, I was friends with Dave, and Dave would tell me things, and, like, he was really upset. And then for a while, he just went dark. So I was more concerned about, like, Dave, because he was really close with Ben, and he was the one who was, like, first there to take care of the animals and stuff too. So, like, I was always kind of checking in on Dave a lot of the time. And, like, same with Forrest when that happened. Like, I was kind of on seeing how my friend's doing in that time and not really focused on myself. So. And,
you know, I could tell you, I only knew of Ben because of Forrest, right? Like, Forrest was, like, mentioning talking about Ben a lot. And then obviously when Ben passed away, it took a lot out of Forrest. And I was like, holy shit. But then Forrest was telling me how much closer Dave was with Ben, and how even Forrest was like, dude, Dave is, like, in a bad place, you know, not bad place, but he's hurting right now and kind of ghosting people. You know what I mean? And I remember, like, maybe a year, not even so after that, is when me and Forrest started the podcast. And the first person Forrest wanted, he's like, we have to bring Dave on. Like, he wanted Dave to be a part of, like be a host. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it was so hard to get him on for some reason. I'll never forget. And then, believe it or not, Forrest's very last podcast that he was ever alive for was when we had Dave on. Did you hear about that podcast? Do you know how epic that podcast was?
No, I watched it. Dave sent me the link to it. I watched it live.
talk about like, I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. I'm talking about 4 hours of laughter. Just, I couldn't believe how funny the guy was, genuinely. And I remember there'd be times where he would just stop talking and he would just be staring back at the camera with this blank stare. Like I would think the connection was like gone, but he was just blank staring back, like,
Yeah.
and like
he freezes and like really intensely listens to what you're saying before he'll answer, like say anything, and just this blank stare.
And dude, I cannot help but to laugh. Like it was just making me laugh. And God, man, God bless him, dude. It was the last, like I said, last podcast I ever had with Forrest. Man, that was, like I said, probably the best ones to date to this day. I'll never forget that podcast. It's so good where I'm scared to go back and rewatch it. Like I'll get chills and stuff like that, unfortunately. But like from what I remember that podcast, it's gold. Like that right there, that podcast will go, and this one obviously, but that one right there will go down in the books. I'll tell you that right there. So amazing stuff. Now with that being said, how important is it to you? I mean, obviously the albino project's important to you, right? But a lot of things can happen in life, Megan. You know that life can change. You know what I mean? You got a boyfriend. Your boyfriend keeps snakes. He's a retic keeper, right?
He does retics and stuff. Mainlands though. A lot of OGS stuff.
So I'm sure you're thinking down the road, right? As far as like what you want to do with these snakes, and do you have like is there not like a cutoff, but like how far do you want to take this albino project? Like, are you like really trying to break the mold with this, or are you just trying to see what you can get and it just more of like a hobby type thing? Like, I mean, what's your main goal with the albino anacondas?
I mean, the whole snake thing is like a hobby for me. I just love it, but I do want to see the project all the way through. Like I want to do it for years to come. Like I'm not doing it just to do it once and see what I can get out of it. I want to keep doing it.
Respect.
So like, eventually, I'm not going to be the only one with them. Hopefully, everyone who wants one will eventually have one down the road. So like, it's not just a one and done thing for me.
So, I mean, I hate to talk into an existence. I hate to talk into an existence, but I am confident that you are going to get there with these albino anacondas. So I want to ask you, let's speed up things in a perfect world where let's just say you hatch out 5 albino anacondas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they eat, they all thrive, they're doing good. What would you price an albino anaconda at? Like if you were able to put one up for sale at this point right now?
I really don't know.
About that?
It's something I'd have to like talk about with Dave and stuff, but it's
right.
I mean, I don't really know at this point.
Because I mean, what are you going based off? You're going based off a one of a kind snake. Like it's kind of like it's hard to. I mean, it's really. I don't want to say it's priceless because everything has a price on it, right? But it's like, what price? It's crazy to think like how if you work with certain animals and you get something to a point, the price that you could price something could just be through the fucking roof. Not that you're trying to just rape people, but out of respect, this is a one of a kind animal, and I mean, you think about it. So I'm just curious, like what can people be prepared for if they are to expect babies, being sold from your, out of your collection, like price range wise, can you give us a ballpark maybe?
I mean, it's gonna be up there. I can tell you that. I mean, you gotta kind of look at how like the first of everything kind of was, like first albino retic or first albino berm, the pied retics. Those started at like $50,000 when they first came in or first were available. Like, and they're easier to breed and take care of. To be honest, like retics are just easier. Like they love food, like all this stuff. They're just easier all around. Anacondas are a little like more finicky when it comes to start eating and all that other stuff. So I don't know. It's just something, that I don't know exactly right now. So it's just something you're gonna have to figure out as time goes on. So
okay, I have to know what's in your hand. Show what's in your hand.
It's a ball python.
Shut the fuck! Oh my god, that was a berm or something. Out of all the snakes this girl has behind her, she's holding a little ball python noodle. Look how cute. It's really pretty snake.
Yeah, it's a banana crystal.
What the fuck's a crystal?
Hot.
I like that.
Special Mojave, I think.
Wow. Can you bring it closer? I want to see it. Looks.
He's got blue eyes. Wait, come back to the camera.
So what are you doing? What are you doing with ball pythons at this point? Like, are you just like for fun, or what's going on with the ball pythons right now?
For fun. I have a couple of them. I've got one that's gravid right now, but that's just a little fun side project.
And you sell your productions, or like, do you hand them over to Dave? What do you usually do with your ball pythons?
Usually hand them over to Dave so he can sell them.
Oh, with all due respect, you don't really have ball python following, right?
No, not really. I mean, there's
Right.
like just people who are into snakes who obviously have ball pythons, but like, no, I don't really have the following for it. I just like them. Like I said, I like certain morphs. I just kind of stick to those ones that I enjoy and just do that with them.
That's what I do. I mean, ball pythons is what started all this, but at the end of the day, I just kind of saw, like, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different levels you could go in the ball python market, and I just don't want to. It could get stressful, I feel like, when you're trying to compete with all these motherfuckers who are in a different planet with their ball pythons. You know what I mean? So I just want to look at my animal and try to enjoy it for what they are versus trying to like make money off of it. Even though I do appreciate the money side of it a lot, I just set back and be like, I'm just going to keep what I really like to enjoy seeing. And if it's high quality, no matter what the ball pythons are, if it's good quality snake, it's still going to sell. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's different levels of your price tag, at the end of the day, it's what you want to work with. So, I mean, let me ask you this: down the road, do you see yourself getting more ball pythons or working with more ball pythons?
I used to have a lot more. I kind of cut back and like wanted to just focus on the anacondas mostly. It's like I cut back on a lot a few years ago. Like I have a lot less retics than I used to. The berms I always just had certain morphs.
Right.
But like I really did want to like just kind of. I was feeling a little overwhelmed, especially with like ball pythons, retics, berms, anacondas. I just wanted to cut back and just focus on strictly like anacondas. So I sold most of my ball pythons and then like half the retics I had at the time.
Yeah.
And just kind of focused on, the anacondas for the most part.
What were some of the morphs you were working with or passionate about back then?
With balls?
Yeah.
I had a lot of banana stuff. I had clown. I had
Did you ever drop crazy money on a banana? Like, were you part of that era where you were like when bananas were like 20K and shit?
No.
Oh, that's good.
So. But everything I have is banana, so everything I'm gonna make is super banana.
Right.
So
you made a lot of super banana stuff?
No, the ones I kept are just banana stuff now. So I'm making super bananas, which I haven't done yet. But I've made clown stuff and whatnot before.
Nice. So theoretically, obviously, other than the albinos, with your other anacondas, how many litters are you shooting for every year?
I try to do at least one a year of, obviously normals, because that's, what I started out doing, and I'll always do a thing of normals, but I do want to, probably at least have 2 a year, and one of them be a morph, some type of morph related thing.
Okay.
So I'll always have a litter of greens, normals, and then try and do something else with like the morphs. So.
And then, how crazy is a wait list? I mean, do you have that? I'm sure you have people on your bumper like asking you, can you let me know? Like, well, how do you usually delegate that?
I try not to do wait lists just because, like, for my normal greens, obviously for like the morphs is a little different because like I am partnered with Dave on it, so we, have that. We actually are trying to go off of Ben's wait list if we can, find it. We can't right now. But no, for me, I just kind of do first come first serve because when I have done wait lists, usually the first couple people who's like, hey, put me on the list, don't respond. So I just kind of gave up on that because I'm not going to chase someone down.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's
funny how that works. It's always the highest energetic person on your bumper before things happen, and then once it happens, they're gone. And then after you sell, they come up with some fucking asshole excuse every single time. In the beginning of my first year, I had so many window shoppers. I started keeping a list. I was like, I'm gonna remember you, motherfucker, wasting my time. And next time, markup price. I'm fucking marking up every time. Next time you ask, just so you don't ask me ever again. But anyways, I was just curious because you work with something that's not being produced a lot, and people are a huge fan of your work. I mean, I can tell you right now, I would love a green anaconda, but if it came from you, like that's the day I would own a green anaconda is if it came from you. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So I'm sure there's people out there wondering how they get their hands on, Meghan produced Anaconda, but I guess that's just perfect timing, right? Be ready when it's time to be ready. I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just tell people to follow my page, and if you're still interested, when I have babies, like I post it and I post updates on them and like all that other stuff. Like, if you're ready for it, then that's your chance to get it. So
now, have you ever done YouTube, or do you have YouTube? I hope you.
I've got a YouTube. I'm not super active on it because I don't really like being on camera too much. So.
Oh, tell me more. Look what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's different doing podcasts though. Like, I'm okay with like being asked questions and answering them. It's just when I have to like make my own YouTube and come up with my own stuff, like I'm very awkward. I'm very shy. Like I'm
a lot of work.
Fun.
It's like, here's the thing. This is why I give people props who are like not comfortable in front of cameras, but they still do YouTube shit, because just even if you are comfortable in front of the camera, the whole editing and that whole putting shit, it's so much work. It's a lot of fucking brain power, like because it's tedious, but it's also a lot of energy to put yourself in a position that makes you super uncomfortable. But I feel like that's what makes you who you are. Like Justin Gabelka is one of my favorite people I've seen like transform into this person who's so comfortable on camera now. If you go back to Justin's like earlier days, first on YouTube, like he's pretty awkward, I'm not gonna lie, but now he's like a fucking G. Like he's so like a G in front of the camera because he just put himself out there. And I listen to podcasts that kind of tell you, like, give you advice on like putting yourself in awkward positions in life to kind of make you feel like like you're prepared for things more versus just being complacent and lax. Because when you're just laid back and you're just not expecting nothing to happen, when shit happens, that's when motherfuckers get floored and they're not ready for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been doing YouTube for a while. I just don't do it consistently because like I don't really like it too much.
I mean, that's the thing, and I mean, you have 16,000 subscribers. That's a lot of subscribers.
You just look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We're all gonna look it up. Let's check it out. So go over. Maybe this will encourage Meghan to put out more content on YouTube. Everyone go over right now to Megaconda's YouTube channel and go subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Look at that. Boom. You hit that all. And look at this, man, bro. This is crazy. So your last video was 4 days ago, so you're not bad. You're putting stuff up.
I mean, yeah. Well, that wasn't really like an edited one. That was just I post that on Instagram too. But, like I have some like actually edited ones. Not great editing, but I do enjoy editing. Like I like camera work and all that other stuff. And
so this is her lane where I just figured we could watch this real quick because this is very interesting. So, I mean, are you pretty good about catching them when it comes to them laying for the most part? Like, I mean, are you?
No. So, like that video is the first time I ever caught them laying because she was doing it in the middle of the day. Every other one has been at night, and I was like sleeping or like I had like just missed it. Like I've gotten up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and just found babies.
Wow. I wish there was like, and you've heard of sensor push and like those like things that tell you like the temps to your phones and stuff like that. I wish there was like a sensor push that sense like motion or something to give you like a heads up to your phone, like, yo, something's being hatched right now.
Yeah,
that'd be sick.
That one you can watch take its first breath.
That is dude. This is I cannot wait to experience this. I mean, obviously I don't have anacondas, but I do have a boa that's due to lay, I think April 5th, or it's like 60 more days or something like that, which is crazy because obviously with pythons they lay eggs, boas, live litters, but after my snake ovulated, she's still eating. Like I was told, you still offer meals to your boas. So she's eating once every 3 weeks, and that's trippy. I thought they'd shut off.
Yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I have a couple where I still offer them very small meals, but they'll still eat up until like halfway through it.
Right.
So, but yeah, they will eventually stop eating. At least with anacondas, they eventually do stop eating when they get closer to like their due date.
So the fact that you have your hands, I mean, you have your feet wet with live litters and clutches. If you had to choose, what process is less of a headache, you feel like? The live litters or the hatching out eggs, you feel like?
So the egg thing, you have to be like very on top of your incubator. So like you have to have the right, humidity in it and all that other stuff and like temperature and stuff. It's just, I feel like it's not as stressful because you kind of see progress with this. Like after a certain amount of days, you see eggs, and then you get to watch those eggs kind of form into like how they're about to hatch, and then they hatch. So you kind of get to see it. But with like boas and like live birth, she's just gravid or pregnant, whatever you want to call it, for like 8 months, and you have nothing. Like you don't know if it's going to be good or bad. She's going to give like live babies. You just don't know. It's just a guessing game, and it feels like it's more stressful because you just don't know. But like with like pythons and stuff where you get eggs, you actually get to see something, and you know it's good or bad like within a few days of like ovulations. Like it's not like a whole year you're waiting. It's only a couple months.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of big difference between it.
Have you ever bred boas other than anacondas? Have you ever bred boa constrictors? No.
No. So what's funny is like I used to help my brother and stuff with like berms and retics. Like I never actually did them 100% on my own. But the first thing I bred 100% on my own was an anaconda. The second thing was a ball python. So
you don't really find that. You don't find that on the resume for the most part. You don't see anacondas and ball pythons a lot.
No, usually you start with like something that's somewhat simple, like ball pythons. Like they're not simple, but like they're easier, and then you go and start doing the harder stuff. But no, I started off with like one of the harder things to something kind of easy.
So I have a wrap-up question for you, Megan, before we get into the hot seat questions, okay? Because no matter how cool you are, you have to go to the hot seat questions. Everyone goes through hot seat questions. Okay. But I'm curious, very curious, especially with what's going on right now with US ARC and this whitelist and whatnot. But what do you have to say, or what is your input for anyone out there who's looking to get into big snakes nowadays? I mean, do you think it's smart to get into mainlands right now, or get into a big snake, or do you feel like if you're really into big snakes, maybe you should get into super dwarfs? But regardless, right now, what is your feeling about getting into big snakes as a new keeper?
I feel like with new keepers, you either start with a baby and you learn as it grows. I don't think a retic is great right off the bat, just because they're, I would say, one of the more dangerous big snakes, just because like their teeth and everything, and they're very, very food aggressive compared to like berms or anacondas. Yeah, I don't know. I just either start with a baby or get experience before getting one. Like find someone who's willing to teach you or to like show you the ropes. And like, I don't know. I just don't just jump right into it because you want one. Like start off small and kind of just learn as you go.
Now, what about this? What about the person who's been keeping retics and they're meant for it, right? But now they're at a point where they can breed. What's your input on breeding retics right now? And let's just keep it at mainlands.
I mean, if you want to do it, do what you want. Just, do it the right way and like get advice from other people who've done it successfully. Don't just throw them together, because just throwing snakes together is not always a good combination. You have to know when they're ready to go and like temperatures and cycles and like all this other stuff. There's a lot that goes into it compared to just like putting things together. So just get advice or just kind of get the knowledge before you actually do it. Because if you're going to breed retics, you have to know that male is going to be more aggressive, and they're way more dangerous than anything else.
God bless it. You're so right. A little OJ. You know what sucks? As I had my very first retic, his name's OJ. He's so cute, like the cute, because baby retic. It's not much cuter than a baby retic. Let's just say that. I mean, yeah, I guess baby anacondas are cute, but baby retic is fucking pretty cute, right? But there's that crossover. Is that a retic? It is a retic. Oh, that is adorable. Ooh, what is that? Sunfire something?
No, purple golden child genetic stripe.
Oh my lord, that is gorgeous. How big is that? Or how old? How about just tell me how old? I know how big it is. How old is it?
I think coming up on 2 years.
Okay. So it's a mainland, obviously, right?
Genetic stripe has some kind of dwarf in it. I don't know. Okay. I'm not great with the dwarf stuff, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I've seen dwarfs that are pretty much big, like a fucking mainland. I don't really believe in. I don't want to say I don't believe in dwarfs, but
it depends on like what kind of dwarf and percentage and all that stuff. I guess I don't really know. I'm pretty sure genetic stripe is some kind of dwarf.
Right.
Like I said, I'm not great with the dwarf stuff.
But I'm just saying you nailed it when you were saying that male changes. Like that male, when it comes to pairing up, that little cute little, like what you're handling right now, it ain't like that once you bring a female involved. And it's like you just need to be prepared for it. And I think a lot of people aren't. Like I wasn't. And my boy put holes in himself. It was terrible. Like, oh, my boy fucked himself up. But gorgeous. Good work, Megan. You ready for these hot seat questions or what?
Sure.
They're not going to be easy. I'm coming in hard. So do me a favor, Megan. I know you're not, I don't feel you as this type of person, but I don't need an explanation with every answer. The hot seat questions are meant to be answered as quick as possible. You feel me? All right. So we're going to come in hot seat questions for Megaconda. You ready? Did you get bit?
No, it squeezed my thumb. We're good. It was like bending my thumb backwards. And I was just like not comfortable.
Okay, here we go. Hot seat questions for Megan. You ready?
Sure.
Frozen thought or live?
Frozen thought if you can.
What the hell? Frozen thought or live? You have to pick one or the other.
So it depends. Babies don't always like frozen thought, but like big ones, I like frozen thought.
If it came down to making one choice, God was like, Megan, you can't do both. You have to pick right now. Was it going to be frozen thought or live, Megan?
Frozen thought.
Thank you. A cut or no cut?
I let them pip first and then cut.
So you cut.
Yeah. I don't have eggs very often, so it's very rare that I have to.
Retics or berms?
Are we talking about morphs? Because
I'm about you can only keep one or the other, retic or berms.
Probably retic.
Damn, really? I thought you were gonna say berm. Respect.
I'm picking
Emerald tree bow or chondro?
Probably chondro.
Red chondro
in my
armpit.
Yeah.
Their tails sometimes poke you. Their tails could be sharp sometimes. Have you ever?
It's gonna like in my sleeve.
Red chondro neo or yellow chondro neo?
Probably red.
Pre first shed meal or post first shed meal?
Post.
Yay imports or boo imports?
That's difficult because depending on what it is.
Dude, you're the lawmaker right now. You either say you could bring stuff in from Indo or you cannot. Which one?
Probably imports.
Okay.
There's cool stuff out there we can't have right now.
Favorite reptile to import?
I don't know because you can't. I don't know. What can we still import?
Grubs, Timors,
green scrubs. Scrubs are great.
Thank you. Jeez. One reptile we shouldn't import.
I don't know. Probably Anaconda.
Maybe the one in your hand.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. No. Anacondas, because back when like anacondas were being imported, they were never healthy imports.
True. I heard a lot of sick, like them coming in sick too, from what from what I understand. Yay sports or boo sports?
I like sports.
Favorite sport?
Hockey.
Favorite hockey team?
Kings. I grew up half a mile from their practice rink. That's where I played hockey too.
Favorite hockey player of all time?
I have no idea.
Megan, you're not doing too well on this. So
I'm not, but
no big deal. You're still cool.
A bunch of hockey players.
Steak or fish?
Steak.
West Coast rap or East Coast rap?
West Coast. I'm from the West Coast.
I didn't know that. I'm just kidding.
Apparently not.
Favorite West Coast rapper?
I don't know.
Dude, could you try, please? You're from the West Coast. You like West Coast rappers, and you don't know. This is great.
To be honest, I said West Coast just because I'm from the West Coast. I really don't know that many rappers. Actually, I don't know where they're from. Let's put it that way.
Next question. Who are you? I'm just kidding.
You don't even know who I am.
I'm just kidding. Yes, I do. Oh, 110% I do. Hold on. Steak or fish?
You already asked me that. Steak.
I did?
Yeah.
I said that? Favorite cut of steak?
Yeah. Filet. Filet mignon. I like it.
Alcohol or no alcohol?
Once in a while.
Favorite alcohol beverage?
I like margaritas.
Respect. Little word association. First thing to come to mind. Milk.
Good.
Cocoa.
Chocolate.
Substrate.
Reptile chip.
Stuck shed.
Soak it.
ICAP.
Soak it, then peel it off.
Day 60.
What are we talking about?
Instagram trolls.
Funny to mess with.
If you had to get rid of one platform forever, and I mean forever, is it going to be TikTok or Tinder?
Tinder. I don't even use Tinder.
Damn, respect. Sorry to all you Tinder freaks out there. Fuck, Megan, good job. You survived them kind of a little bit, but you did the hot seat questions. Good job, Megan. Hey, all seriousness, we had over 100 people at one point in this live. We have well over 100 likes. You have mad people out there supporting you, Megan. So before you leave us, what do you have to say to all your supporters out there? What do you have to say to everyone who's rooting for you and wanting you to do big things with these animals?
Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. I don't know. I'm very awkward with this stuff.
Keep going. You're good. You're almost done.
I don't know. Just do your own thing. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, be like this and run away because it's not having a good time.
Exactly. Hey, couldn't say it better myself. Megan, I can't thank you more than thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you for coming on the show. I thought this was amazing. You did a hell of a job.
Oh, no.
And you got fucking urinated on. That's how we're going to end this, just like that. Meghan, Kelley, ladies and gentlemen.
It's still going.
Nice sweats. I like your sweats. All right, Megan, keep it real. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Wow, what an episode. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate everyone who tapped in. Damn, over 100 people. It's been a while since I've had 100 people in the live. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all the support, giving Megan all her likes. That was awesome. Not every day you see a chick like this in the industry, okay? So I thank you to everyone who tapped in. Thank you to all the live super chats. You guys are awesome. Just be ready because this Saturday we are doing International Trap Talk coffee and dab sessions with my boy from Canada, man. And this guy comes highly recommended from other Canadians and even people in America. I think actually a couple American keepers put me on game with this guy. So I'm going to bring you guys DPR Cold Blood to the table this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here, Coolest Reptile Podcast in the world. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tapping in. Oh yeah, and then Sunday, just so you guys know, Holy Monitor session, man. And we got some sick ass monitor talk that's coming to the table. I hope you guys are ready because this guy is he has a good legit background with these animals. And actually it's funny, we were just talking about prehistoric pets. This guy just came from prehistoric pets. Wondering what his experience was like. The homie Armin, tap in her time. It's going down Sunday after Trap Talk International Coffee Dabs session. But guys, I'm good. Oops, wrong button. But I'm out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Be safe. Hit that like button. If you were late to the show and you tapped in and forgot to hit the like button, you still got time, man. Hit that like button. But I'm out. See you guys next time. Coolest Reptile Podcast in the world. I'm out.